And we are live. My name is Paul Klinger. I'm hosting today's session from Materiality. We also have Brian Krupp from DataPoint Labs. He's with us, and Barbara Lichtenstein, our European correspondent. How are you doing, Barbara?
Good morning. Good morning to everybody, and thanks for joining us.
This session is really about looking at some of the key features of Materiality, but really putting it out in a feature that we call the DatabaseLite for Ansys. We've worked very well with Ansys over the years and have come to put together some nice programs. This one here is a free database that gives people the ability to find data that is applicable to their Ansys, and they can use the CA modelers and use data, start to experiment with Materiality without having to use a registration, a login, to pay anything. It's a free service that allows them to start to work with the system and see how it works on a kind of a smaller database service. It allows, I think, access to about 50 materials. If you look at the Ansys database system that we can sell you, that has about 2,000 materials, and about 1,000 of those are publicly available, another 1,000 you can make access requests for, and you can start to build up your Ansys library. There's really two ways that we have. One is the way that allows you to find the data and create an XML file, which is what I'm going to demonstrate in the first session of today. And then I'm going to turn over to Brian Krupp, who is an Ansys expert here at DataPoint Labs, and show you how you can do the same thing using the Ansys Lite or the Ansys database and start to actually put this right into your Workbench or into your Ansys module. So if you have any questions, by all means, feel free to speak up or use the chat box as we go through this. I'm going to go ahead and take over the desktop at this point. And if there are any questions, again, we will be doing a Q&A session at the end of this, and we'll take questions at that point. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, this is really on how to use the Ansys Lite. It's the free material database and CA modeler specifically designed for Ansys. So as you go onto our homepage, which is Matereality.com, I suggest that you try to spell it properly because there are plenty of websites out there where you can get to that do not have it spelled properly. This is ours right here, Materiality.com. And you should see a screen that looks like this. And to check out the Ansys services, we're going to click on this Ansys Database and CAE Modeler icon, which is right here, obviously on the home page. Once you do that, you get a lot of information about the Ansys database system and an invitation to try out the Ansys database, Database Lite for Ansys database. And all you want to do is just go ahead and go right to the Ansys logo right here, and we can start to create CAE models. And this takes you right into one of the key features of Materiality, but again, this does it on a light and on a demonstration purpose. So at this point, we can look at our Ansys and start to determine what Ansys models we're looking for. We can pick, obviously, elastic fatigue, hyperelastic, meso, and et cetera, et cetera. So we click on the materials that we're looking for, click on the module we're looking for. In this case, I clicked on Ansys meso. I can revise a search, or if I'm happy with the search results, I can use these results. I'm going to find, I'm going to find materials that have a little green icon there. Those mean that I have immediate access to those reports. If they have orange, it means that the data is set in a private mode, and I need to make an access request directly with the data owner. Once I click on that green icon, I'm going to click on that one green one that we wanted to use. It then says, well, what type of Ansys would you like to use? We're going to use Ansys Workbench 13. That's obviously the newest, the most exciting, and obviously we are integrated with that. So we click on there, and then we start to see the data. This is a meso calibration, and we can start to see the temperature. We can start to see a little more of the data. We can start to see the curves, and we can actually start to work with this data as we see fit. So at this point, we can click select. We can remove points. We can modify points. We can modify the modulus. We can add any missing data that we would have up in the text box if there was anything missing, such as maybe Poisson's ratio or anything else you wanted to put into there as well. And we can even zoom into certain areas so that we can see some data in a little bit more detail. And every time we either add a point, remove a point, do anything, we just want to go ahead and click Update Model. So either there, or actually I like to use this button over here on the left of the Update button. It makes sure that we save all of our changes as we're going through this. It does not affect the raw data, it just affects the model that you're in the process of creating. So once you have everything the way you want it, all you want to do is go ahead and go right over to back to this left-hand side and click the download button. Now in this case, it's going to create the file in an XML file. If I have the Ansys plugin and I have the plugin already installed on my computer, it's going to go directly into my Workbench station and I can start to see the materials that are actually in existence there. Anything that we've done as far as the CA modeling would show up in that case. And with that, as an example, I'm going to go ahead and hand this back over to Brian, and he's going to take you through the an actual demonstration of this. Give me just a moment, please. And Brian, I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, now just want to make sure everyone can see my desktop.
Perfectly.
Okay. So this is after you opened up Ansys Workbench, and after you've downloaded the plugin for Ansys, you get this additional little tab in your toolbox that has material data. It says Materiality Database. This is just another module that you can drag into your project schematic, just like this. Then we right-click on Material Models and transfer data to New Engineering Data. Okay. Then click up here, you put in your Materiality login ID. So this will actually connect directly to your database that you might have online. And then update your project. And what it's doing here is it's connecting to Materiality, and it is actually loading all the material models that you have created on your personal account. Once it's done loading these, you simply double-click on the engineering data, and these are all the material models that we have created under the demo profile. So these are all real data, real models that you have tailored to your specific application. So as you can see here, we have fatigue data on an aluminum. There's some hyperelastic data here. We can look at the different modes of deformation. You can do data fitting inside of Ansys then using the data that you actually want to use. So solve your data. You have a data fit for hyperelastic now. It's just a very easy way to transfer data into your engineering library. So this is tailored exactly to your materials that you have in your database. And if you have specific applications, you can truncate the data to wherever you want. This is a lot of fatigue data, so there isn't much to do there, but this is all single point. But say this is modulus versus temperature. If you, in Materiality, you can take out certain temperatures. If you really have no interest below room temperature in Materiality, you could tailor this specifically to your application. So, I mean, that's pretty easy to do. There's not much else to it. This is really how to get your material libraries loaded into Ansys Workbench. And there isn't really much to it. I guess I can turn it back over to you, Paul.
That's fine. That's great.
If I can figure out how to do this.
I think if you stop sharing, there you go.
Okay.
All right. So there's really two different ways of finding the data. Again, with the DatabaseLite, it is a free system, and it's right on the home page. You can access it and create your own XML files in a matter of minutes and use it as a free system. We do have databases that are available for purchase, and I'll go ahead and get a little bit into that as far as the options of really using Materiality beyond the DatabaseLite for Ansys system. The first one is the Global Access Account. This allows you access to the Global Data Center. It lets you look at all the data that we have in the Global Data Center. You can immediately have access to public data, and you can make access requests for private data. And that is for $385. That is a one-time fee. That is not an annual fee. That is a license that gives you access to our Global Data Center, and that is an ongoing. Next is the Ansys Database Access, or DatabaseLite Access. That is $485, and that gives you access to about 2,000 materials that you have immediate availability of being able to look at the data, review, and as you've seen, apply that into your Ansys station that you have. Beyond that, we have the personal database where you can start to store your own database and start to build up your own personal database. You could even do it for your team, for your organization, etc. And those start at $650 per year. Those allow you to do the CAE modeling, allows you to upload some of your own data, and start to use all the features and software that we have within Materiality. I'm not going to talk about it too much today, but we do have organizational products. We have the workbench, the work group solutions that can be of a tool that can be used for collaborating your data, working with your colleagues, letting them build up their own databases, letting you have access to that database. And those start from anywhere from 2 members up to about 40 members. And then we have global enterprise solutions that are for the hundreds into the thousands of users as well. So as we go forward, for between now and the end of the year, we are doing a special right now that if you wanted to do the Ansys database access for $485, you would get the Personal Database Pro for $650 per year. The first year is included in there at $485. So you could start to, again, have the ability to view the data on the global data center, start to compile your own database, and you actually get the data loading feature, which allows you to load data from either your instruments, from your own CAE files. You can either upload from Excel spreadsheets, and it takes you to a data loading wizard so that you can start to load data and start to compile your own more expansive workgroup database on a personal level. That, in a nutshell, is the Ansys features that we have. Again, it's the Ansys DatabaseLite, which is on our homepage, which is for free, and then we have some paid service products as well. At this point, since we have everybody on the line, I'm going to see if there's any questions that might be up there. I'm going to go ahead and go back to our comments and see if there's any questions that have come up. And is there any questions that you have either for Barbara or for Brian or for myself at this time? You can either speak up, unmute yourself, use the audio, or you can also use the chat box that's there as well. And at this point, I don't see anyone texting any questions. I don't see any audio questions. I am going to go ahead and close out this session. If you have any questions, feel free to contact myself. Oh, actually, we do have a question that just came in. Will it interface with the Ansys Classic? Brian, I'm going to let you take that one. Is that the Ansys Classic?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the, Paul, if you go back a few slides on your presentation, it has the pull-down menu with the different versions of Ansys. Keep it right there. Back, select material, slide 5. Slide 5, I think it is. Nope.
How about this one?
Yeah. No. Keep going down. Select Ansys export format, slide 6. So if you make that larger, it has the different versions, so it will do the classic. The first option is the classic. I think it's called Ansys Mechanical in this aspect. So what that puts out is the standard input files for Ansys. It doesn't have the internal interface. You just need to go up under, I think, File, and then import your material file in your material properties area. So it will create the classic Ansys files as well as the XML for the workbench. So it will do the original format.
All right. I have another question that just came in that was asking, can we put this PowerPoint on the Ansys website? We are talking to getting the Ansys community more involved as far as putting this up there for the field people. We probably will eventually get it on the Ansys website, but right now we're working with getting their field people so that they have access to a little bit more material data as well. So you'll see a lot more about this as you work with your Ansys people and more of your field people as well. With that, I think I'm going to go ahead and close out today's session. I really appreciate everyone that made the effort to get here and get involved. If you have questions, by all means, feel free to contact myself directly here at Materiality. Paul Klinger, it's Klinger at Materiality.com, or speak to any of my colleagues at any given time. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time today. I hope you have a great day, and I will look forward to talking to you all on future sessions. Thanks again. Have a great day.
Thanks very much to everybody, and thanks to Paul and Brian. Thanks very much. Goodbye. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.